Hi everybody, welcome back and welcome to my February wrap-up. So I've had a really busy month, so I only managed to read 3 books, but to be honest, 3 books is better than no books, and I enjoyed actually all 3 of them, to be honest. So, it was an interesting month in February, but as I said, I have been really busy, as you will have noticed from the fact that I seem to be posting like a video every couple of weeks, so it happens. So yeah, without any further ado, this is going to be quite a short video. These are the books that I read in February. So the first one I read was The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. This is one that I've started in January, so I've actually managed to finish at the beginning of February. And this was my first time reading The Eye of the World. I do have a spoiler-free review for this book out already, and I really enjoyed this, especially off the back of the show, which I did really like. And yeah, it was really interesting to actually read the story that the show was based off of now, because I deliberately watched the show first just to kind of get an impression of it. I can understand a bit more about why they adapted the things that they did, so I think I need to go back and almost do a comparison now of what I thought of between the show and the book now that I know what they were adapting and why they perhaps made the changes that they did. This was a really great book. I definitely really enjoyed it. My main gripe would definitely be that the female characters aren't as well written as I was expecting them to, but as I said, I do go into more depth about that in my spoiler-free review, so I would definitely recommend checking that out if you haven't already. But yeah, despite the fact that it's a chunky book, I was never bored, and I really enjoyed the pacing of it, and I thought that it was just really well written, and it was just a great start to this fantastic series. I'm definitely going to be reading more of it as time goes on. My aim is to try and read one every couple of months kind of thing, but I am a huge mood reader, so it will have to depend on what I've read and whether I've got enough momentum to be reading a book this size kind of thing. But yeah, overall, really great book, really great start to the series, and I definitely enjoyed The Eye of the World. I then was aiming to... Shut the fuck up. I was then aiming to kind of finish off some series, or at least continue some series that I've had books on my shelf for a while, so I read The Box in the Woods, which is sort of a sequel standalone to the Truly Devious trilogy. And yeah, so I read the Truly Devious trilogy, and I really enjoyed that trilogy. I definitely felt that the third book kind of dropped the ball ever so slightly with how it wraps things up, but I really liked that trilogy. I liked how everything was connected and a different part of the mystery was revealed each book. So I was very interested to find out that there was going to be a sequel standalone to a trilogy that had completely wrapped up all of its kind of elements and stuff, it had ended. And really interesting when you read the acknowledgements of this one, she wrote it because it was like the pandemic and stuff, so it was interesting kind of to understand it from that kind of point of view. But overall, whilst I did enjoy this book, I would have to say it is a very unnecessary sequel. It's there if you want to just kind of go back to this world and back to this author's way of writing and way of writing this character. But it adds nothing to the original trilogy sort of thing, and kind of it doesn't really continue anything that I enjoyed from that first series. It's just kind of there. Yes, it's basically like another round of her solving a mystery with no evidence and no clues and stuff, but just kind of happening to find out kind of what it is based off of stuff she's slowly learning because she's able to put things together. It was an interesting idea, but it did kind of come out of left field a little bit as to what was going on, and the reason as to why things were happening was just a bit strange, and yeah, it just kind of lost just that interest that I think the original kind of mystery had. This separate Box in the Woods murders just didn't quite have the same hook as the Truly Devious case did. And yeah, I really didn't know what the point of David was in this book. That was one thing I definitely found with the original trilogy, was when the author didn't have Stevie and David sort of as kind of rivals to lovers sort of thing. She doesn't really know what to do with them, and it's almost like she's just creating drama for drama's sake, and I absolutely fucking hate that. So yeah, I felt like his character was completely useless in this book. He almost could have been left out entirely, and you almost could have had a thing about Stevie kind of just learning to kind of do things without him and stuff, and maybe addressing her own insecurities about their relationship and stuff. But yeah, mixed feelings on this book. Not my favourite, and definitely is prompting me to think about writing and filming a video about unnecessary sequels, which I might still do. Let me know if you're interested in any thoughts you have about that down in the comments. But yeah, so alright book, I enjoyed it. Wouldn't really read it again, wouldn't really recommend it for people who are fans of the series unless you're really craving this series. Then I finally finished The Winter of the Witch by Catherine Arden. Oh my god, this was such a good sequel to the trilogy. So this was the conclusion to the Bear and the Nightingale Winter Night kind of trilogy. Now I did have a spoiler-free review for this entire series filmed and edited and scheduled. However, it was due to come out the day that Russia started to invade the Ukraine. And as this is a series set in Russia, it just felt ever so slightly uncomfortable to be posting that review round about that time. So I am just going to, I know this series has like nothing to do with that, and it's very much not, it's like based on historical events, but it's very fantastical. It just, to me, just feels a little bit uncomfortable to be posting that round about now, so I will be leaving that for the time being. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed this series. I hope you guys can kind of understand kind of why I'm just not feeling comfortable posting that right now. But yeah, I definitely really enjoyed this book series, you know, absolutely fantastic. Really great, you know, conclusion to the series as well. It was really easy to read. I really just loved how it kind of pulled everything together. You could finally understand actually where this series has been heading the entire time. One thing I love about the series is the fact that, like, you know, it's a series, but each book almost feels like a little bit of a standalone because everything has its own contained story. And it was really fun then to be able to see in this book kind of where all those contained stories sat within the wider narrative and things now that you know where it's ending. So really fantastic series. I definitely really enjoyed this one. And that's all I've really been reading. In February I did start reading Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb. However, that is quite a long book, and as I said, I have been really busy, so I am actually perhaps going to put that one aside for a little bit and like try and read some sort of shorter books just to try and get my momentum with reading back up again, because sometimes I find if I'm reading the same story for a very long amount of time, it just kind of it almost starts to put me into a book slump kind of thing. So yeah, I've also started reading a new book that I got called Commotion of the Caribbean, which is shorter, and I'm about halfway through it already, so I think I'll try and finish that soon and maybe circle back to Assassin's Quest in the next month or so when I've maybe got a little bit more time. But yeah, really enjoying Assassin's Quest so far. Really interesting pickup from the end of Royal Assassin, so I'm really excited to see the rest of that book. But yeah, overall, really enjoyed the books that I read this month. You know, I managed to complete kind of 2 sequels to series that I've been meaning to do, so that was definitely great. Loved the Winter Night trilogy, and The Walks in the Woods, whilst interesting, unfortunately, just one of those unnecessary standalones. But as I said, I am considering actually doing a video where I just discuss unnecessary sequels and stuff. So again, as I said, you know, if you've got any opinions about sequels that you've read that you just feel are completely unnecessary, definitely let me know down in the comments, because I'd love to kind of hear your opinions so I can actually have it be more of an actual discussion kind of video. But yeah, but let me know what you read in February. What were your favourite books? What were your least favourite books? Do you have any opinions on the ones that I've read? Let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear from you. If you've reached the end of this video, feel free to leave a like and feel free to subscribe. I try to post as a weekly, but you know, as I said earlier, if life be lifing, I am just going to be taking a step back from YouTube sort of thing, just because, you know, this is kind of something I have to deprioritise. But it's definitely something I want to keep doing. It is a hobby, so, you know, videos are not going to stop. So if I don't post for a week or so, you can, you know, I will be back. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.